Hello and welcome to today's installment of the DAF 57 from Chullin Steinsaltz edition. I'm going to dive straight in. So to continue, there was a story finishing the last DAF 56, which explains that the Gemara recounts an incident involving a certain Roman who saw a certain man fall from the roof to the ground. And his stomach ruptured and the intestines emerged. The Roman brought the man's son and slaughtered him before his father's eyes deceptively. What does it mean deceptively? But Chuzas Einayim, Rashi explains that the Roman did not want to insert the man's intestines himself, and if they might jump on them and cause the man to die, therefore he pretended to kill the man's son to cause him to go limp, which would enable the intestines to return naturally to the proper position. I.e., he only pretended to kill the son. The father fainted and went limp. By this movement, his intestines entered his stomach, and the Roman sewed up his stomach, and he recovered. The Mishnah states, if his legs were broken, the bird remains kosher. The Gemara relates that there was a certain basket of birds with broken legs that came before Rava. Rava inspected each bird at the convergence of sinews in the thigh, and when he found that all the sinews were intact, he deemed them kosher. So there's a footnote. If one of the sinews, in convergence with the sinews removed or severed, the animal or bird is the terefa, even if the bone is completely intact. If the bone is broken at the location of the convergence of the sinews and it protrudes, the skin and flesh do not cover its majority, or must respect the convergence of the sinews. If all the sinews are intact, the animal or bird remains kosher according to the Gemara later in 76b. Some deem it prohibited for consumption in any event. That's the Rambam Sefer Kedushah Chachita 817. Shulchan Aruch Yodei 55.1, 56.1. The leg of a bird, like that of a mammal, has three parts. The lowest bone, the metatarsus, is covered by scaly skin and is homologous to the metatarsal bones of the lower leg of mammals. The middle bone is called tibiatarsus in birds and tibia in mammals. This limb is referred to in the Talmud as the shock. The upper bone is a femur, the coltic, and the corresponding limb is yaruch, which parallels the thigh in humans. At the bottom of the tibiatarsus of a bird is a convergence of 16 sinews and nerves, referred to in the Talmud simply as the convergence of the sinews. This is homologous to the Achilles tendon in humans. If even one of these nerves or sinews is severed, the bird is a terefa, and that's for 76b. Rav Yehuda says that Rav says a dislocated foreleg in an animal. If the forelegs of an animal are dislocated at the roots, the animal remains kosher. Rav will say Kedushah Chachita 10.4 Shulchan Aruch Yodei 53.1. Is kosher. A dislocated femur. If the femur is dislocated from connection to the body, the animal or bird, the terefa, in accordance with the conclusion of the Gemara and the next onward. This applies only to the sinews connecting the femur to it, its rounded protrusion can decompose. Some hold that there is no received tradition for identifying and inspecting the relevant sinews, and all animals with a desiccated femur are therefore prohibited because the sinew may have decomposed in the Gemara. Some later commentators would legally, in case of potential monetary loss, if the sinews do not decompose. That's from the Rambam Sefer Kedushah Chachita 10.4 Shulchan Aruch Yodei 52, and see delicate teshuvah there. In other words, the femur, which is normally connected to the pelvis and appears like a pestle in a mortar, was dislodged from the pelvis. Rashi writes that this is the same case as mentioned earlier in the chapter of the head of the femur that was dislocated 54b, but there the aromatic buka the atma is used. See the response of the Rashba in 1:294. Based on the conclusion of the Gemara there, one must infer the Gemara here is referring to a case where the sinew connecting to the bones had decomposed. Other commentators interpret this case differently, as shown in the image. So there's an image here. A desiccated femur, according to the Rive and in one Rashi and Rambam, and the Rambam's understanding of Rive. So here's a. I can try and show the diagram. Okay, that didn't work. And to continue, an animal renders it a terefa. A desiccated firmament of a bird renders it terefa. A desiccated wing of a bird renders it terefa. Shemutas gaf ba'of. If one or both of the bird's wings are desiccated at the roost, one must be considered lung may have been perforated. Therefore, one inflates lungs is inspected. If they are intact, the bird's kosher. If not, we have the contestation to school of Rabbi Yochanan. Nowadays, they don't receive tradition of inspection, and the bird is terefa in any event. Rabbi Seif Kedusha, Shilcha Shechita, 10:4, Shulchan Yodea, 53, and the comment of the Ramah. The terefa we must consider that perhaps the lung is perforated. The lungs of a bird, unlike those of a man, are attached to the ribs. In the case of a wing from the rib, may therefore damage the lung. The lung is located near the wing's attachment to the body, and part of the lung may have been torn with the wing. And Shmuel says the lung should be inspected, and the damage is found the bird is kosher. One inspects the lung by inflating it through the windpipe to see if air escapes, says Rashi. And so, says Rabbi Yochanan, it should be inspected. Hiskir, son of Ramahia, says a bird has no lungs, and Rabbi Yochanan says a bird does have lungs, and they are like a rose petal in appearance, thin and red between the wings. The Gemara asks, what does Hiskir mean when he says that a bird has no lungs? If we say there is no lungs at all, that is problematic, as we don't see that it does have lungs. Rather, he means that the bird is not rendered terefa by them if they are perforated. But this too is problematic, as doesn't Levi teach those terefa that the sage is enumerated in an animal whole, like was in a bird. And in addition to those, a bird is terefa if the bone of the skull was broken, even if the membrane of the bird was not perforated. If so, a perforated lung in a bird is, as in an animal, rendered terefa. Rather, say that Hiskir means that the bird's lung has no halacha of falling. What does that mean? Lo lidpal, no halacha of falling. If a bird fell into a fire, one need not be considered that its lungs are damaged because its ribs protect them, in accordance with the conclusion of the Gemara. This is the halacha even if the lung changed colour through the shach. So most certainly, that if the lung turns green as a leak, one should not relieve the except in case of potential munchinos shulchan ochio day 52:1 and piyah chadash there and the bear hativ and dalkei teshuva there and no halacha of singeing. Some countries understand that even if the lung was known to be damaged or burned, the bird remains kosher. The Rashba disagrees, noting that the Gemara justified the statement by stating that its ribs protect the lungs. Consequently, if the lungs are known to be damaged, the ribs clearly have not afforded sufficient protection. While the Rashba explains that it means damage to the lungs is unlikely to occur due to falling or burning because the ribs protect them. Therefore, if it is uncertain whether its lungs have been damaged or burned, one may presume that they are intact, and one need not inspect them. As Rashi states, if the lungs are definitely damaged, the bird is a terefa. If a bird falls, one need not inspect the lungs for damage, as he must on the organ C51b, and if it falls into a fire, one need not inspect the lungs for a change in colour, as he must on the organs C56b. What is the reason for this? Hannah said, since the majority of the bird's ribs protect the lungs, will not consider that the lung was damaged. The ribs of birds and mammals are broad and flat. In mammals, though, the ribs lie flat on the surface of the lung, while in birds the structure of the rib cage is such that each of the ribs stands perpendicular to the lung surface, creating a gap where the lung blows. Chullin, it need not be considered that the lung was damaged. The Gemara asks, but for the fact that Rabbi Yochanan says a bird does have lungs, they are like a road pattern between the wings. By inference, one must conclude that the Hiskir maintains that it has no lungs at all. One must say that in the West, Eretz Yisrael, in the name of Rabbi Yossi and son of Rabbi Hanina, with the statement of the distinguished Hiskir, it is apparent that he is unfamiliar with chickens. Rav Huna said that Rav said, I indicate the firmament the bird is kosher. The Ran writes that the halacha with regard to birds may be more lenient than that of mammals because birds put less pressure on their thighs as their wings lend added support. By contrast, according to Sefer
I think it's